chapter 22, and we're going to start at verse 30. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven.
Priest, not the Zob. Shalom, priest. All right, so what is the context of this? The brother saying he's Malakama. You just confused on a marriage in the kingdom part, right? Type in the chat, Malakama. Text me or something. Is it just the marriage part that you hung up on? Started give me a couple verses above.
We're going to start at verse 27. That's Matthew. Chapter 22, verse 27. And last of all, the woman died also.
You got to read up. Start at the
beginning of the
context.
This is Matthew chapter 22, verse 23. The same day came to him Sadducees, which say that there is no resurrection, and asked him.
They said that there's what?
No resurrection.
All right, so that's the context right there. They're talking about resurrection. All right, and what happens with what you could call regeneration. Everybody in here, of course, y'all know when we die, we come back. Everybody in here has been here before. Everything is on a cycle. The sun is on a cycle. The moon's on a cycle. The wind, the water, everything is on a cycle. So why wouldn't you think that you are on a cycle? It's all through the Bible, all right, that we've been here before. The scripture says there's nothing new under the sun, all right? That ain't talking about technology and cars, nigga.
That's right.
It's talking about man. You understand? It's nothing new under the sun. We've been here before. So the context of this right here is talking about regeneration. It ain't talking about marriage. Keep going.
Come. This is verse 24, saying, Master, Moses said, if a man die, having no children, his brother shall marry his wife, and raise up seed unto his brother. Verse 25. Now there were with us 7 brethren, and the first, when he had married a wife, deceased, and having no issue, left his wife unto his brother. Verse 26. Likewise, the second also, and the third, unto the 7th. Verse 27. And last of all, the woman died also. Verse 24. Therefore, in the resurrection.
28. Go ahead.
Verse 28. Therefore, in the resurrection, whose wife shall she be of the 7? For they all had her.
For they all had her. Go ahead.
Verse 29. Jesus answered and said unto them, Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, nor the power of God. Verse 30. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven.
All right. Kudah, scroll down. Mulakama. You in the chat? Did he respond? All right, no sweat. So his question is on marriage, because it says, for in the resurrection they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven. So in the kingdom, Canada, Detroit, Ohio, will we marry? Will we have kids in the kingdom? Will we have a wife in the kingdom? Mashah, you want to answer? Go ahead.
We will marry, we will have wives in the kingdom.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's just a fact.
Kazak, you want to add to that? You good? That was it? Okay, so if we will marry and have kids in the kingdom, why does this say For in the resurrection, that what does it say? For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage. Why does it say that? Because let the brother answer. Mashah.
So the reason it's saying that is because in the resurrection, our resurrection is when you're literally born again as a baby. So you're not born again into the earth married to anybody. You come in a virgin, never known, or you know what I'm saying, or having the pleasure of marrying, or what we say now is sex.
God, clap it up for the brother. That's the correct answer. All right, and that's what it's talking about. It's not talking about marriage. And when you read scriptures that you don't understand, always remember the scriptures that you do understand. All right. So Christ said that the kingdom of heaven was like, what was it like? 10 versions. Read that scripture. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't want to even mess it up when I paraphrase. 25-1. Go ahead. Whoever got it, read.
Con. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins.
What is the kingdom of heaven like?
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins.
Keep going.
Which took their lamps and went forth
Get the door, Habawan. Help the
to
brother if you
meet the
could.
bridegroom.
The water priest. Salaki Mashah. Say it again.
Come. It's Matthew 25, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom.
And took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. So why would Christ give a metaphor of the kingdom of heaven with being a man that's about to marry 10 women if you can't get married in the kingdom? The water, brother. I appreciate it. That wouldn't have happened if there wouldn't be no marriage in the kingdom. You understand? So that's why I said, when you get to scriptures that you don't understand, always remember what you do understand. The kingdom of heaven is rulership. That's what it is. It ain't some place that you die and float off in the sky. You understand? And then somehow you get wings and you become a baby and you flying and stuff like the oppressor teaches. That's not what heaven is. You understand? Heaven is just rulership. Just like today, you in the oppressor's heaven. You got your hand raised, cause I go ahead, brother.
Shalom. I was gonna piggyback off what you were saying, sir, because you hit it right on the point. It seemed like the brother was getting confused about the resurrection and the kingdom. People think that the kingdom is in some fairy land where you're floating around naked with wings.
Right.
And that's not the kingdom. You notice that we're always going, the scriptures say that we're always going to be here on earth. This is where we dwell, the place under the sun. So the kingdom will be here and life will go on as it does now, except for we will be in rulership and it'll be a righteous world instead of the one we live in today.
That's right. Clap it up for the brother. That's the kingdom of heaven right there. Mashah, go ahead.
And something I had to learn over the years is before I came into the truth, I was so inundated with Christianity or the thoughts of Christianity that all those concepts had to be let go. I had to just let them go. Or I would find myself disrupting the whole class because nothing would make sense in the truth if I thought about it from a Christian perspective.
Damn right, you got to let that Christianity go when you come in the truth. And that's what Christ said, man. You can't put what is it, new wine in old bottles. You can't do it. You understand? You got to come in here and start all over and learn, because we've been taught nothing but lies about the Bible. You understand? Everything we thought we knew about the Bible was a damn lie. And that's why we had a scripture breakdown class, man. In this zone here is every Tuesday, 7 to 9. You come in here, you ask all the questions about all those lies that Christianity and religion has taught you. and we gonna break them all down for you. So in this chapter here, it ain't talking about marriage. Christ ain't breaking down what marriage is like. He's breaking down resurrection. That's the context of 22 and 30. It's strictly talking about resurrection. All right. And like the brother Kazak said, priest Kazak, when you born as a baby, you're not getting married. Read from 30.
To 22, verse 30. For in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as the angels of God in heaven.
What is that talking about? They are as the angels of God in heaven. Who want to answer that? Kazak, go ahead.
Is that what it when it says that, does it mean like never knowing the urges of man?
No. The angels of God in heaven. Habawan?
That they're unmarried because the angels are not married. The angels don't marry.
Think about your situation today. Where you was born at. You understand? The family you was born to. You understand? The situation you was born into. You had no control over that. Kazak, you had your hand up? Go ahead.
So is it saying you're not born and you won't be born into like a the sinful ways that's pushed on you?
No. You born the way, and Kodash, you wanna add to it? Go ahead, brother. Yeah, are as the angels of God in heaven.
Because the angels are not married to anybody. Neither can they get married. And you just like them when you come back. You by yourself. You're not married. And you're not assigned to nobody.
It's basically talking about the condition that you're in. Like, think about the angels and their job. When they were created, they all have a specific task, and they do exactly what the Lord tells them to do. Same as us. When we born, we don't have no control who we born to, where we born at, east side, west side, what country, none of that. The Lord just put you here. You are as the angels. You understand? And you ain't thinking about none of that. That's just the life you about to live out how the Lord said it would be. And that's how the angels live. You understand? So once again, this ain't talking about marriage at all. It's really focusing on resurrection. You understand? And he answered the question as in, you know, when you come back as a baby, you ain't marrying nobody. You understand? You a damn baby. Go ahead, Kazak. Then Habawan, you next.
So basically, they approached him trying to trip him up on
As
his
usual.
resurrection belief, but used the marriage thing.
Some of them didn't believe in regeneration or resurrection. You understand? So they trying to ask him a trick question, and every time Christ cut the crap out of their ass. You understand? You ever want to know how to battle and cut people? You read on what our King Yahushua did, how he spoke, and you will be excellent at battling. Go ahead, Kodash. Sluggy, Habawan was next, then you next. Hold that thought if you could, priest.
It's like, I got a question on the scripture, so he could go first if you.
All right, no sweat. Was it on top of Kodash? Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's how you know the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, because he does the opposite of what the scriptures say. He married babies right when they get reincarnated.
Good night.
The Catholic priest get a hold of your baby and it is over.
It is disgusting. Him and the rabbis and the Jewish man, you understand? They is molesting your kids and all type of. It is disgusting. So like, I can't say that. Good night. That's why we always getting flagged. We can't say nothing, man. Our mouth is reckless. Pause. Go ahead, Abawan. What you got?
So, sir, my question is on it's dealing with resurrection too.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is on Matthew 12 and 40. The scripture reads, "For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. My
Mhm.
question is that in Christianity, they teach that, Christ was, he was in the tomb for 3 days or something like that, right? But when we read the scripture, we know that he was taken off the cross that night,
Mhm.
right? And then after the Sabbath, which was the next day, right, the women went early in the morning and he had already left. So what is this 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the earth?
Pull the scripture and read it.
This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 40. Well, I started
Not that scripture. Pull when Christ. What'd you say, brother? Yeah.
so
Pull
that's what I
pull
need
the
help with.
scripture when Christ died and read from there. And you gotta remember,
I'm not sure what scripture it is, sir.
it was a Sabbath, I believe.
The next day.
Yeah, so they weren't about to do nothing with no dead bodies or nothing. You know what I'm saying? So just read from there, it should tell you.
You got it, sir?
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 50. When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Christ's disciple. He went 58. He went to what is it, Pilate, and begged. So like
Read from when he died. Read up.
read up. Come on. 50. He had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. 51. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. 52. And the graves were opened.
I don't think your mic projecting.
Test.
Come.
Come. The book of Matthew, chapter 27, verse 50. Yahushua, when he had cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the ghost. 51. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. 52. And the graves were open, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose. 53. And came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city and appeared unto many. 54. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yahushua saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of God.
It was a
55.
damn earthquake. You understand? All type of stuff happened when our king died. And they knew they had messed up. Go ahead.
55. And many women were there beholding afar off, which followed Yahushua from Galilee, ministering unto him. 56. Among which was Mary Magdalene, and Mary the mother of James, and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's children. 57. When the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was Jesus' disciple. 58. He went to what is it, Michelle? Pilate. He went to Pilate and begged the body of Yahushua. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. 59. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth. 60. And laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out of the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulcher and departed. 61. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulcher. 62. Now the next day they that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate. 63. Saying, Sir, we remember that that deceiver said, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will arise again. 64. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the third day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. 65. Pilate said unto them, ye have a watch. Go your way, make it as sure as ye can. 66. So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 28, verse 1. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. 2. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. 3. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. It's like his raiment white as snow. 4.
All right, for time's sake, your question was where they get that from?
I wanted to understand the 3 days in the body, because it looks like to me that if they crucified him on what was a Friday and the next day was the Sabbath, it would be
No,
Saturday.
it was a Thursday. He died like on a Thursday or a Wednesday, but it was the Passover, so it was 2 Sabbaths in that during that time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it was the Passover, and then it was the actual weekly Sabbath, and then after that is when, you know what I'm saying, they came and got him, or he was gone from the sepulchre. Just for time's sake. Also, you could look it up on your own and see that it was 2 Sabbaths going on. But the main thing is anything in the scriptures that the Most High says, and like a prophecy, put your money on it. You understand? Christ predicted it like 3 or 4 times that he was gonna be, you know what I'm saying? He was gonna, you know, die and come back in 3 days. In Matthew and Mark, you see it. So you could look it up. It's like 3 or 4 times that he said that. So him saying that, all you got to do is once again put your money on it. So just find the scriptures and count from that point. So that's where they're getting it from, is because he predicted it. All right. And just like all the other prophecies, you can look them up. It's over 2,500 prophecies, and you know, according to their count, 80% of them has come true to the letter. You understand? That's just how the Bible works. You understand? That's what it's all about. So anytime you see a prophecy from the Most High, from our King Yahushua, please believe it happened. All right. So your question was where they getting it from? That's where they're getting it from, because he predicted it, and then it happened. He died like on a Thursday or Wednesday, and then the Sabbath he came back. Go ahead, Michelle. You had your hand raised.
If I could, I want again, when we find ourselves confused about certain things in the Bible, especially like this, understand our previous thoughts are Christian thoughts. Christian teach a certain thing. He died on a Friday. He got up on a
Yeah, I heard him say that. He talking that Good Friday crap. Now that ain't true.
Yeah,
you understand?
And that if I could,
that definitely ain't no 3 days. But go ahead.
If I could, that's again why we said you got to let everything the Christians ever taught you go. And you brought it out. It was 2 Sabbaths that week. Anytime we come for a holy convocation, it's called a Sabbath. So they had the Passover that week. All right. And then they had the regular 7th day Sabbath that week. That makes 2 Sabbaths.
There you go.
You see? And so therefore, which day was the day of preparation? And Christians do that so that they can confuse the average layman in the street because they don't want them asking those hard questions.
Right. Hey, shalom. Shem with that. Come. All right. Like I said, Abawan, just read it on your own time. You could count the days and let me know if you have an issue with that. You're gonna see. Okay, no sweat. Kodash, what we got? That's it.
Salakia, sir, if I may.
Salaki, who's that? Priest Adia?
Kind of run, sir.
Go ahead, mighty man.
Kind of run, sir. To water, sir. Just to bring something in mind, like Christian use the fact that Jesus Christ died on Friday. So you always want to cut a Christian when they say, well, he died on Friday and rose on Sunday. Then you got to make him understand that's not 3 days.
At
You
all.
always like, especially when Easter time come, you could cut him easy with that. So use that. That's a precept that I use also, and the tactic that I use also to cut Christian from Friday to Sunday. It's not 3 days.
Come. No sweat. What you gotta understand is they trying to match that up because of their pagan holidays. Good Friday or something. Y'all could look it up, the origin of it, but it has pagan roots. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Easter is the what is it? The spring solstice or something like that. The worship of Esteroth. Michelle, go ahead. The mic, pass the mic.
Their Easter is associated with the spring equinox.
Equinox. There you go.
The spring equinox. And the thing about Good Friday is because they must honor the venerable day of the sun, the first day of the week. That's what they're trying to lock in, that venerable day of the sun, the first day of the week. That's why they brought Good Friday in and try to lock it in. The Christians, anyway, it's all pagan because the first day of the week is about a sun god. And that's what they was trying to point. That's what they're trying to point every Christian to, is to keep that sun god worship. So that's why they lock in that it was a Friday.
Come on. All right, is that it, Kodash? If you don't see no more questions and comments, just play those 2 videos, man. We had a Shawan. Go ahead, brother. The topic of what, brother? Go ahead. All right, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Come on. Let me see. Slovakia. Your Proverbs 8 and 13. Say hate evil. All right. So the Lord is saying it's 7 things that he hate in Proverbs 6. All right. And the things that the Lord hate and the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. You understand? Lying is evil. The Lord hates sinners and the sin, right? You can merge all these things together, man. Now, some people will say because you don't see lying in one of the laws that you can just go out here and lie. You understand? But if that was the case, why would the Lord hate a lying tongue? You understand? He wouldn't give a damn. So, in my opinion, yes, you can use that scripture if that was your question. Salaki, 1 second, cause I go ahead.
I had a question, kind of on that same topic.
Mashal, would you have a comment or a question? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so is it like lying altogether is unlawful, or is it like certain times or certain ways that you lie or something? Because I remember us reading the scripture where who was it? He lied and said his wife was his sister.
Abraham did that.
Abraham.
Imagine that, man. Good night. Back in the day, man, I guess we just didn't age because she was old as hell when he did that. You know what I'm saying? Good night. Good night. He still had the lie. They still wanted to, take your woman. That was crazy. But go ahead. So you saying is it a certain reason that you could lie?
Yeah, because he told that lie and it wasn't like no punishment behind it or nothing. Or it didn't say that it was a sin. It just kind of just went over like he lied and said this and it just kept going.
God.
So I ain't really understand why that wasn't a situation that was unlawful, but it say lying is. So I ain't really understand it.
Mashal, what'd you have?
So come on, to add to that, I was going to ask, is it unlawful if I'm lying to a heathen versus if I'm lying to an Israelite? You see. And the reason I ask that, sir, is because an animal that dies of itself, if it's one of my lambs that died of itself, I can't give it to damn brother or sister in this room. But I can sell it to an Iraqi, I can sell it to an Iranian, I can sell it to a heathen. So the question is, does it work the same way when it comes to lying? Because if I got to protect the brothers and I have to lie to protect the brothers, I'm going to lie.
It sound like, oh, y'all some lying motherfuckers, man. They just want to lie to everybody.
And so, like you said, that's to protect them from heathens. If the heathens say, your brother's over there and I know they over there, no, they went over there across 6 miles.
God. Okay, so I've heard a breakdown that you can lie to heathens. You understand? But me personally, I don't lie to nobody. You understand? I'll slap the shit out you. That's just me though. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, y'all might have to ask General Muhammad now, because I just ain't about to lie to you. For what? People lie because of fear. And I'm not scared of nothing but the Lord. You understand? I don't care how you gonna take what I'm about to say. I don't care how you feel about none of that. You feel me? I keep the laws, and that's just that. If you don't like my lifestyle and what I do, don't come around me. You understand? This scripture definitely says that the Lord hates a lying tongue. Now, you're not gonna find a law against lying, but do that mean you should do it? You understand? You ain't gonna find no law against smoking weed. Do that mean you should do it? The scriptures all through the Bible tell you a evil man dig it up, a wicked man dig it up evil, and his lips is like a burning fire. That's weed. You see the repercussions of smoking. You understand? You ain't gonna see, you know what I'm saying? Don't eat doo-doo. You ain't gonna see that in the Bible. Do that mean you gonna go out and, you know what I'm saying? Y'all understand what I'm saying, right? So like, go ahead, Natazar.
If I could, sir, a lot of like fake Israelites use Abraham as the precept for you to be able to lie to heathens, because he had lied to that Egyptian king over
Mhm.
Sarah. Now, if Abraham had trusted in the Lord said he would be a father of many nations.
There
He
you
ain't
go,
had no
Hop.
children yet. So he know the Lord still had a duty to keep him alive up to that point. If he had took that into consideration, but you know, Abraham, he is a man.
Right.
He was carnal at that time. So
Right.
the Lord would have delivered him if he had told the truth regardless.
Yeah, and that's heavy. Go ahead, Kazak.
Or what the brothers bringing out so heavy?
Damn right.
Because it reminded me, because later on in the same scripture, it was saying, I think the Egyptian ended up asking him, like, why did you just say that? Yeah, why would you
Mhm.
lie? You had just said this was your wife. We just giving her back to you. You know,
Mhm.
so kind of the brother is he brought
So that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to the point. Like I said, I keep the laws, man, and I don't fear nothing but God. You understand? I don't fear man enough to lie to him about nothing. But I have heard it that you could lie to a heathen. I'm just not gonna do it. So, Shaiwan, what was your question again? Is it a sin? I'm gonna tell you. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Kind of like I said, man, my integrity won't allow me to do it. But for the official breakdown, I suggest you ask General Muhammad. All right. Kodash, you got your hand raised? Pass the mic.
I think IUIC uses some of these scriptures as an excuse to snitch on brothers that got warrant.
Good night.
So what they do is say, I found out you have a warrant. I can't lie.
Good
I
night.
gotta tell the white man on you.
Listen, man. If you following them purple faggots, man, you understand? Lord be with you, because I wouldn't use no breakdown or no advice I ever got from somebody called Nasty Nate. I just couldn't do it, man. You what the scripture say, man? You know them by they fruits, right? You see the fruits over there. It's for real.
They got a bunch of fruits.
That whole organization is paused, man. Go ahead, Kodash.
A sister, Catherine Rabine, says, Shalom, sir, if I may, could you please break down 1 Corinthians 7:2 to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife and every wife have her own.
Oh, we. Shalom to the sister, man. All right, somebody pull that scripture. Christians be like, see, I got you. You got it.
1
Yeah,
Corinthians
there you go.
chapter 7, verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
Is that it? Read verse 1.
Verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
Okay, so that's where you need to start at, sis. You need to start with verse 1. Read it again.
Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
These were all letters that Paul wrote to his different schools in different cities throughout Greece and Rome. All right. And he said, concerning these things that y'all just told me, what?
It is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Okay, so like in here, we have councils every month, and we report to the different generals that's over our zones, the different captains over our zones. In this particular time, somebody wrote to Paul dealing with a certain sexual situation. And Paul is saying, man, concerning what y'all just told me, it's good for none of y'all to marry. Don't nobody have a wife, because y'all nasty over there. All right. Go to that's what he talk about. You know what I'm saying? And what he was doing was setting them straight. Like, man, listen, y'all don't even know how to handle being with a woman. Y'all should just not do it. That's what he was saying. And this, I know a lot of brothers like that. You understand? It's probably good for y'all not to have more than one woman. You understand? It's probably good for a lot of young men not to touch a woman yet. Grow and mature and learn how to be a man. Learn how to be a husband before you go out there and try to get a wife. Now you got something you can't even handle, and she looking at you about to leave the truth because you was a bad example of the truth. You young in the truth. You was not ready. And that's what Paul is saying, man. Concerning the things that we just talked about, y'all niggas shouldn't touch a woman. Go ahead, Zarat.
Kind of one concept. Can this be a precept? I got 1 Corinthians 6 and 12.
Let me hear it.
All things are lawful unto me,
Con,
but all things are not expedient.
you can definitely use that one. All things, what he's talking about, all things that I do are lawful to me, but all of them are not expedient. You can use that scripture right there that you just pulled for like multiple wives, getting another wife. While it is lawful, it may not be expedient for you to do at this time. Also, like cussing, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we cuss, sometimes we cuss a lot. But when you speak to a certain crowd, it may not be expedient, even though it's lawful to cuss. You know what I'm saying? Shit is not a bad word. Like it's a dumb word that white people made, Salagi, your oppressor, made bad. You understand? But it is not a sin to cuss. But it may not be expedient when talking to certain people. If you're trying to edify certain people and you use certain words, you may turn their ears off and they can't hear you no more. So, Khan, you could use that precept for that. Go back to what the sister asked, though.
1 Corinthians 7 and 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
Nah, start with verse 1.
Verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
It's good for a man not to even have a woman. Now, let's go to the things that they wrote to Paul for him to say this. Go to 1 Corinthians 5 and 1.
1 Corinthians 5 and 1.
Remember, sis, these are letters that Paul was writing to his schools. So you don't want to like separate them. In these letters, he touched on different topics that they were dealing with in these different schools. So to kind of put it to where you can like understand, look, okay, at myself right now. I'm Captain Hadariala, and you know what I'm saying? The Lord put me over, under Commander Johnny Yohanna, of course, over Michigan and Cleveland and you know what I'm saying, Pittsburgh and Canada. Detroit, where we are now, may not have the same issue as Canada. And what Paul was doing was he was writing to these different places and touching on the issues that they were dealing with in those schools. All right, so let's hear about what they wrote to Paul for him to say that in chapter 7. Go to 5 and 1.
1 Corinthians 5 and 1. It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you.
What is reported?
It is reported commonly that there is fornication among you.
What is fornication? Let Michelle go. Or a young man. Abawan, you had your hand raised. Rocky Eye. Go ahead, let Rocky Eye answer. You got the mic, go ahead.
Slacky adultery.
Okay. Yes, that is included. Somebody want to help him? Abawan?
Unlawful sex.
That's what fornication is. Any type of unlawful sex. So bestiality. You understand? They said that Alexander the Greek had sex with his horse. Good night. That's what happened when you follow those oppressors, man. Dude having sex with his whore. There's a saying that, from farmers, you got to hide the sheep. They abusing animals, man. You understand? And during this time, we were in the coming out of the Greek captivity, living like Romans. So fornication was an issue that they was dealing with, which is unlawful sex, any type of unlawful sex. So laying with your sister, they heavy on that incest. You understand? Any type of unlawful sex. So where you was at, Zerat? Go ahead.
God on Wakan. And such fornication as is not so much as named among the Gentiles.
Such, like we just said, not so much as named among the Gentiles. This is what they doing. Go ahead.
That one should have his father's wife.
That what?
That one should have his father's wife.
Go ahead.
And ye are puffed up.
And you puffed up. Y'all proud about it. Don't they do that today? They make songs about sleeping with your brother's wife. How disgusting are you? First of all, that's my wife. Do you know what I do to her? Why would you brag about that? You understand? Knowing that that's my wife, you should not even want to stand too close when y'all talking. you should stand back there like, hey, Shalom says, no, you ain't got to hug me or nothing. Shalom, stay over there. You understand? Because I'm all over that. You understand? But they brag about it. And that's what Paul is saying, man. You puffed up about laying with your father's wife. Go ahead. Go ahead, Zerat.
If I could too, sir. That is like a common issue in Black America today.
God.
Like you got brothers, blood brothers, and they sleeping with the same woman.
It's disgusting.
Then you know what I'm saying, mess with his wife.
And that's why I love the Bible so much. I love our culture, man, because it teaches us how to be better people, man. You understand? Not following the Bible will have you living like a disgusting heathen. You eating whatever, you having sex with whatever. Who does that? Animals do that. Dogs do that. You understand? Just live any type of way and then brag about it. You puffed up about it. That is disgusting. A man laying with another man, and now it's Pride Month. They proud, they puffed up about doing something disgusting. That is a mental disorder, man. You put on a Batman costume every day and wear it to work, and you tell me ain't nothing wrong with you? You have mental disorder, man. You're retarded. Salaki. Well, the hand raised. Kazak, go first. Pause.
Salaki, sir. When you said it's a mental disorder, we had a first-hand view of it. Salaki to say that when we was in what was it, Cleveland, Ohio? Yeah, we said something about being homosexual and God being against. And next thing you know is homosexuals hanging from the trees.
That was
twerking it, grown men in leotards twerking.
Crazy.
And it's just like they couldn't control themselves. You know what I'm saying? It's
It
like
was
it
crazy.
was like a circus.
I seen an ugly little boy doing cartwheels all across the camp. It was wild. And then it's like they wasn't there 1 minute, and then they just came out of nowhere. As soon as we, you know what I'm saying, we brought up Pride Month and said how disgusting it was. A bunch of puffed up, mentally disabled people just popped up with costumes on. It was disgusting.
It's like if I may.
Go ahead, brother.
I knew we was in hell the moment you started debating one, and then you realized you was talking to a woman and not a man.
Yeah, that was crazy. And then you seen the demon come out of when I said you're a girl. She got mad. She got mad because I called her what she was. So I gotta say you Batman because you got a Batman outfit on. I'm not doing that. You're a girl. So yeah, that's just what it is. Like Paul just said, and they're puffed up, and that's what's going on today. They proud about fornicating. and being living that alternative lifestyle is fornication as well. Go ahead, Kudash.
And the crazy thing about it is people are proud about pride. They like the thing that make them do that is because instead of having shame, which allows you to correct yourself, they constantly choose to be proud over pride. So they end up making themselves more arrogant to things that they should be shameful about, but they end up thinking they're doing something by being prideful.
Go ahead, Zerock.
You're gonna say, sir, that the white man enables them to do it. You know what I'm saying? And make it as though no, there's nothing wrong with them. They're not harming nobody. You know what I'm saying? This is a completely harmless thing when it is the most evilest thing.
It's
It's
disgusting.
literally against the Most High. It's going to harm them.
All type of lewd behavior, and you know, people dressing however they want. Like Officer Kazak Ahmad and Officer Mashah touched on Monday. At one point, this was illegal. They called it indecent exposure. And today, the oppressor pushes for them to do it. That's the world that you live in today. Once again, that's why it's so important to get out here to these classes and like and share this truth. You know what I'm saying? Because this lifestyle is going to touch your house. You're going to find it in your house. You understand? You're going to find disgusting behavior all around you, and you're not doing nothing about it. But Paul said, damn that. And he touched on it, and he wrote letters to his school to stop it. Go ahead, read what you was at, Zerock.
That one should have his father's wife.
And that's what they talking about. Fornication. This type of fornication in this situation was one being with his father's wife. Keep going.
Verse 2. And ye are puffed up.
And you proud about it. Go ahead.
And have not rather mourned that he that have done this deed might be taken away from among you. For I verily, as absent in body, but present in spirit.
He like, man, I'm here, man. Don't be doing this. This is disgusting. Stop it. All right, so that's what he's talking about. Go back to 7 when she asked about 7 and 1.
1 Corinthians 7 and 1. Now, concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Concerning these things, man, it's good for you to just not even have a woman. Because y'all land with your father's wife, with each other wives, and it's disgusting, man. That's fornication. You understand? Don't do that. Go ahead. You can't control yourself. It's good that you don't even have a woman. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
But to avoid this thing, man, because y'all so lustful, and I can't tell y'all not to have a woman because y'all not disciplined enough. Like Paul didn't have a wife. Christ didn't have a wife. So to avoid fornication, avoid unlawful sex acts, go ahead.
Let every man have his own wife.
Let every man have his own wife. That way I ain't got to worry about you laying with your father's wife. You understand? Remember, during this time is the Romans and coming out of the Greek captivity, it was nothing but lustful behavior. Look up their holidays. What did they do on Saturnalia? What did they do? Who knows? Kodash, let Kodash answer. Go ahead, brother.
They had a marathon orgy.
Brother ain't capping. You can look up Saturnalia, man. You can look up Lupercalia, which is Valentine's Day. Look up all the different pagan holidays, man. That was being those days that were being kept back then, and you can see it was based around sex. That's what they was doing. They were laying with each other's wives, man, and it was disgusting. And Paul is saying, man, to avoid fornication, man, let every man have his own wife. Be with your woman. You understand? All these disgusting orgies going around. Y'all having sex with your father's wife, like he touched on in Corinthians 5. Just stop it, man. To avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife. Who had the hand raised? Zerock, go ahead.
One kind, sir, and it's so heavy because from a teaching point, you know what I'm saying. Not that like the report Paul was hearing about what was going on in that school, he just was looking like, man, y'all should never even touch a woman. What I'm hearing,
Yeah.
But he was like, to avoid fornication, he just was like, let every man have his own wife, and every woman have her own husband.
Good. Keep reading.
Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
Where you at? Start at 2.
Verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
All right. If y'all can hear the brother in the chat, make sure y'all type in the 1 for me. If you can hear Zerock reading. Read that from 2 again, brother, if you could. The water.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
Let every man have his own wife. Go ahead.
And let every woman have her own husband.
And let every woman have her own husband. All right. So everybody ain't got to go out here and sleep with each other and be disgusting. You have your wife or wives, and you have your husband. And that's preventing fornication. All right. Now, fake Israelites use this for what? Habawan, go ahead.
They use it that every man should only have one wife.
Do you see that in this anywhere?
Sir.
I didn't read that either. So it says, don't be confused, with this verse and listening to fake Israelites. The scriptures you always got to read in context. All right. If it was unlawful to have more than one wife, then you would see the Lord say it's unlawful. Don't do it. You understand? Read what Quam just said. UPK Pittsburgh.
He said, if I could, my Lord, is she may be asking this because she might think it means you can only have one wife?
Khan, that's what we just touched on. Kodash, go ahead.
This is another thing, right? A person that believes that they want a husband that only want one wife, they could easily just go find one. But the problem is that no, they're not going to find one.
Find what?
A husband that only want one wife. That's why they combat. That's why some people try to combat us with those scriptures.
I ain't gonna say you ain't gonna find. There are some men
in their mind.
There are some men that exist that only wants one wife. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's.
Now you're gonna have to go through 100 of them before you find that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They know the fight is so strong that I might as well battle this scripture.
Yeah, well, I ain't gonna say that about the sister, man.
I ain't talking about her.
That's a down as one West sister right there. She probably just a little confused because fake Israelites use this scripture to say you can only have one wife, but I don't see a number in here at all. And when you read it in context, Paul is addressing fornication. It's your brother's wife. All right. So that's why Paul is saying, man, you got your own wife to prevent unlawful sex. You understand? And she got her own husband to prevent unlawful sex. A woman having more than one husband is adultery. That's unlawful sex. So Paul is saying to avoid that, you got your man and he got you. You understand? Now, just because he got you don't mean he can't have her and her and her. And this scripture ain't saying nothing about that at all. So don't let fake Israelites. What the scripture say, man? Don't add to or take away from the Bible. And that's what fake Israelites do when they read this scripture. They add to it and say, see, that means you only can have one, but you don't see one in there at all. And then, like I said, when you read it in context, it's talking about fornication. To be exact, you go back to the 5th verse, 5th chapter. It's talking about a man laying with his father's wife and being proud about it. It's disgusting. Abawan, go ahead.
Sir, just to get a little clarification, if we jump back to 1 1 Corinthians 5:1,
Mhm.
and right there it says that one should have his father's wife. It didn't say the mother, so that's saying his father had another wife.
There you go, brother. Clap it up for that, brother. That was heavy right there. That was heavy, and you got to point that out for those fake Israelites. And if that was unlawful, Paul would have said something about it. All right, like the brother said clearly, that said his father's wife. That didn't say that you laid with your mama, which is also disgusting. You understand? That said he laid with his father's wife. So the brother didn't lay with his mother. He laid with his father's wife. His father had 2 ribs at least, just from reading this in context. So you could also use that for fake Israelites that say, show me somebody in the New Testament that had 2 wives. You go right to that scripture right there, because that's what it's saying. All right. All right. What else we got? Is that it? That's it. All right. It's 8:52. I wanted to bring out my topic, man, but it's too late. It's 8:53, and we got Midwest Council tonight. Fire Weekend Council starts at 9. So with that, we gotta wrap up the class, man. Clap it up for the Lord. All right. We'll jump into the topic next week. All right. Sister said, ain't no Sky Daddy. Said ain't no Sky Daddy. I was gonna, break that down for the sister. And we also had a video, but we'll do that next week at the start of the class. All right. Once again, clap it up for the Lord. All right. Shalom, Israel. So like we call a priest and officer 5,000 Zerat for the security announcements.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K started out 1 West, 125th Street, Charlotte, New York. Rule for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After the 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. TITHES, which is the commandment. Numbers 18 and 21. Malachi 3 and 8 through 10 means 10th in the Hebrew. I.S.U.P.K. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free willing, offering of priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation, fire week, Feast of First Fruit, June 17th. That's the closing of June 17th. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headbands, and scarves. I want to make a courtesy salute to the teacher. Man of Israel, Muslim, Shabbat, Muslim, Barak, Man of Israel, Muslim, Yazmatah, turn to the sisters. Saw, Amajin Shabbat, Amajin, Barak, Yazmatah, class dismissed.